This is you, and you've watched football your whole life. You open FIFA, you pick the best players in the world, you put them all in the same team. Mbappé up front, Vinicius on the left, Bellingham in midfield. And you think, how could this possibly lose? Mbappé, Vinicius Jr., Jude Bellingham. 3 of the 7 most valuable players on earth. A squad worth 1.43 billion euros. The most talented group of players they've assembled in years. And last season, they finished second in La Liga table. They lost to Bayern in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. They didn't win anything major. But why? Why does putting the best players together keep producing the worst results? Researchers at Columbia University published a study that changed how we think about talent. They analyzed thousands of matches across football, basketball, and baseball, and found something that nobody expected. More talent doesn't always mean better results. In football specifically, they found a tipping point. Once a team squad goes beyond roughly 60% elite players, performance starts to decline. Not just plateau, actually get worse. Teams with too many stars consistently had worse win records than teams with a more balanced mix of talent and average players. They called it the too much talent effect. And the reason isn't complicated. Football is an interdependent sport. Every single player on that pitch needs every other player. The striker needs the midfielder to find him, and the midfielder needs the defender to win the ball back. The whole system only works when everyone is connected. But elite players don't naturally connect. They compete for the ball, award, and glory. And when you put too many of them together, instead of one system with 11 players, you get 11 players each trying to be the system. And there's a deeper psychological reason for this that researchers have been studying for decades. It's called achievement goal theory. First developed by psychologist John Nichols in 1984, and has since been confirmed across hundreds of sports psychology studies. The theory identifies 2 different ways elite athletes define success. The first is task orientation, measuring success through personal improvement and collective achievement. The second is ego orientation, measuring success through being better than everyone else around you. And here's the problem. Elite footballers are almost universally ego-oriented. You don't become one of the best players in the world by being happy with second place. You get there by being obsessed with being the best in the team. Research published in sports psychology journals found that ego-oriented environments consistently hurt team performance, with a measured negative correlation of -0.09 across studies. Task-focused environments helped performance. Ego-focused environments damaged it. Which means the very psychology that makes a player elite is the same psychology that makes them harder to fit into a collective system. It's not selfishness. It's just what elite looks like from the inside. And you can see it playing out at Real Madrid right now. When Mbappé joined in 2024, the problem was immediate. Both Mbappé and Vinicius are left wingers. Both want to cut inside and be the one who scores. And this wasn't the first time Mbappé had this problem. At PSG, the same thing happened with Neymar. Both occupied similar attacking positions, and their coexistence was already fragile, held together largely by Neymar's frequent injuries. PSG eventually transferred Neymar specifically to allow Mbappé to flourish. It still didn't work. Mbappé left for Real Madrid anyway. Journalists who covered their 2024-25 Champions League exit against Arsenal described the team as having no synchronized movements, no innovative ideas, no coherent plan. Not because of a lack of quality. They had Mbappé, Vinicius, Bellingham, Modric, and Valverde on the pitch simultaneously. But because 5 world-class players with 5 different ideas of how the game should be played is not a system. The same pattern continued in 2025-26 Champions League. Against Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals, Real Madrid were leading 3-2 on the night. They had the individual quality to win. But the moment Camavinga was sent off and spaces opened up, they had no collective response. Just like that, Bayern scored twice and Madrid went home. Real Madrid have been here before. In the early 2000s, the president of Real Madrid, Florentino Perez, assembled what he called the Galacticos. He signed Figo in 2000, followed by Zidane, Ronaldo, and Beckham. Every single one of them had finished in the top 2 of the Ballon d'Or voting in the previous 4 years. The most decorated collection of individual talent ever assembled at one club. But the problem is still the same. Beckham arrived in 2003, and he's a right-wing player, which is the same position as Figo. That same summer, they also sold Claude Makelele, the player Zidane himself called the engine of the team, because Perez felt the squad had enough star power and didn't need a defensive midfielder. What followed was a disaster. In 2003 to 2004, they led La Liga by 8 points at one point, and then lost their last 5 games to finish 4th. They were eliminated by Monaco in the Champions League quarterfinals. The next season, their first trophyless season since 1995. One journalist wrote that the club felt more like a marketing show than a football team. Remember that FIFA team you built at the start? Mbappé, Vinicius, Bellingham? Don't get me wrong, that's a great team. But the best teams in history weren't built around the best players. They were built around a shared purpose. And until Real Madrid figures out how to make 3 of the greatest players alive want the same thing, the dream team stays exactly that, a dream.